Welcome to Universal Crime, the channel where we break down America's darkest cases, expose the minds behind them, and uncover the patterns most people never notice, until it's too late. Today's story isn't about a monster hiding in the shadows. It's about a man who walked among everyone, waved at neighbors, fixed mailboxes, and blended into a peaceful American town so perfectly, no one ever saw the truth underneath. This isn't just another crime case. It's a reminder of how dangerous normal can look. Because in every quiet American neighborhood, there's always that one person who blends in a little too well. A polite smile, a helpful attitude, a friendly wave. But behind that smile, sometimes there's a darkness nobody wants to believe exists. This is the story of Daniel Hawkins, a man who built a perfect mask, fooled an entire town, and used that trust to hunt his victims in silence. A case that changed Mill Creek forever and proved that the scariest killers aren't the ones hiding in the dark. They're the ones hiding in plain sight. Let's go back to where it all began, Mill Creek, a town that never expected its biggest nightmare to come from its nicest neighbor. In every quiet American town, there's always that one guy who blends in a little too well. He's helpful, he's polite, fixes your mailbox when it leans a little, waves at you when you pull into your driveway. Everyone likes him, everyone trusts him. And that's exactly why nobody ever saw the monster living behind that smile. This is the story of Daniel Hawkins, a man who built a perfect mask, fooled an entire town, and hunted victims while pretending to be the safest person on the block. A case that still haunts Mill Creek and changed the town forever. Chapter 1. Life in Mill Creek. Mill Creek was the kind of place people bragged about living in. Small, peaceful, boring in the best way. Kids rode bikes until it got dark. Teachers coached softball on weekends. People left car keys sitting in the ignition while grabbing groceries. It was the classic, nothing bad ever happens here town. You know how Americans joke, "Yeah, we don't even lock our doors around here." Mill Creek actually lived like that, and that's what made the nightmare hit twice as hard. Chapter 2. Who was Daniel? Daniel Hawkins, 42 years old, was a hometown fixture. Not popular, not disliked, just there. A guy people waved at without thinking. He worked at the local hardware store, the type of place where everyone's on a first-name basis. Customers said he was quiet but helpful, the kind of dude who'd spend 10 minutes explaining which screws you really needed. Neighbors described him the same way. Super chill, harmless, good dude, a little awkward but nice. He had no criminal record, no drama, no red flags. If anything, people pitied him. They thought he was lonely, maybe just socially off. But Daniel wasn't lonely. He was studying people, watching them, tracking routines, building a double life nobody suspected. Chapter 3. The odd moments people ignored. Before the horror unfolded, Mill Creek had signs. They just didn't know how to read them. A teenage girl told her mom someone was watching her from outside her bedroom window. Her mom said it was probably a deer or some dumb kid messing around. A jogger felt someone following her on the river trail. She heard footsteps, turned around, saw nothing, but swore somebody ducked into the trees. Another family reported someone trying their door handle at 2 a.m. One neighbor said they saw a parked truck late at night with the engine off, but lights on the dash glowing. When they got closer, the truck sped away. All small things, all isolated. People said, "It's nothing. Mill Creek is safe." They were wrong. Daniel was testing boundaries, seeing how close he could get without being noticed. Chapter 4. The first victim, Anna Brooks. On a sunny July morning, everything changed. Nurse Anna Brooks, 29, didn't show up for her shift at the medical clinic. She was never late, ever. Her coworker drove to her house. Front door unlocked, TV on, dog whining inside. The moment police walked into the bedroom, they knew this wasn't a burglary or a runaway situation. The room was torn apart. Sheets ripped, dresser doors open, lamp shattered, window pushed up, dirt on the carpet, signs of a struggle. But no body. It was the crime scene frozen in fear. Mill Creek went from relaxed to terrified overnight. Neighbors locked doors, parents kept keys home, people stopped taking late-night walks. For the first time in decades, the town felt unsafe, and they had no idea who did it. Chapter 5. The misdirection. Detectives interviewed neighbors. Everyone acted shaken. Except Daniel. He stood on his porch, arms crossed, acting like the situation was just unfortunate. He told the officer, "Didn't hear anything, man. I crashed early. Hope she's okay though. Real sad." His calmness didn't match the chaos happening around him, but detectives didn't clock it. Instead, they went after Anna's ex-boyfriend. We've seen this story play out 100 times, police chasing the obvious suspect while the real threat keeps stalking. During those critical first days, Daniel watched the investigation like a spectator. He wasn't nervous, he wasn't hiding. He knew exactly how much he could get away with. Chapter 6. Lisa Grant disappeared. 3 weeks later, another woman vanished. 21-year-old college student Lisa Grant. She finished her shift at a cafe, said goodbye to her coworkers, walked down Main Street towards home, and just disappeared. No sound, no witness, no attack caught on any camera. Just gone. But behind an old warehouse, police found something chilling. 2 sets of footprints heading behind the building, only one set returning. The panic in Mill Creek doubled. Same pattern, same missing woman type, same lack of evidence. This wasn't random. Someone was choosing victims, and that someone had lived beside them for years. Chapter 7. Searching for a pattern. Detectives finally realized something bigger was happening. They dug into old complaints, anonymous tips, police call logs, late-night disturbance reports. Suddenly, all those weird incidents from earlier started connecting. The jogger, the girl with someone outside her bedroom window, the door handle rattling at 2 a.m., the parked truck in the dark. One officer said, "It's like someone had been moving through the town's blind spots for months." And he was right. Daniel had been testing prey behavior, seeing how fast police responded, mapping escape routes. He had prepared long before his first victim. Chapter 8. The Secret Shed. During a wide-scale search near the river, a deputy noticed something odd. A small man-made trail leading deeper into the woods. At the end of the path stood a hidden shed, old, rusted, padlocked, and absolutely not city property. Inside, investigators found duct tape, zip ties, gloves, rope, a camera, women's belongings, photos, torn clothing, and a list of locations. The shed was a hunting ground, a base of operations. And right there on the floor, a receipt. Harkins Hardware. Signed by Daniel Hawkins. That was the first real break. Chapter 9. Surveillance begins. Police put Daniel under 24/7 surveillance. The daytime version of him was the perfect nice guy performance. Helped a lady carry paint cans, held the door open for a couple, joked with coworkers, waved at a group of kids biking past. Total nice guy energy. But nighttime, whole different dude. Detectives watched him, driving slowly with his lights off, circling neighborhoods, parking near trails, watching homes, returning to the woods where the shed was found. He wasn't out for a drive, he was hunting again, and he was close to choosing someone new. Chapter 10. The Arrest. Police couldn't wait anymore. At 3:12 a.m., Daniel stepped out of his house carrying a backpack. Officers swarmed in. He froze. Didn't run, didn't fight. Inside his backpack, they found rope, gloves, a folding knife, duct tape, a map with routes drawn in red, and a handwritten list of 5 women's addresses. He tried to brush it off. "What? I'm going camping." Cops even didn't respond. They cuffed him on the spot. The perfect mask had finally cracked. Chapter 11. Inside Daniel's mind. For 48 hours, Daniel said nothing. Then something snapped. He confessed, but not out of guilt, out of pride. He explained that he watched his victims for weeks, learned who lived alone, which streets were dark at night, who left windows unlocked, who walked home on the same path, who trusted strangers easily. He said, "People only see what they want to see. I looked normal, so they never looked deeper." Cold, calculated, detached. He showed no sympathy, no emotion. He led police to where he buried Anna and Lisa. Detectives who had worked years in homicide said they had never felt colder around a suspect. Chapter 13. The town's reaction. News spread instantly. People felt betrayed, sick, horrified. Everyone had a Daniel story. "He helped me fix my fence. He brought soup when my husband was sick. He played fetch with my dog. He used to sit at the diner every morning." They realized this man blended into their lives easily, too easily. He wasn't a drifter, he wasn't an outsider. He was their neighbor. the one they trusted. Chapter 14. The Legacy of Fear. Years later, Mill Creek still hasn't recovered. People who once left doors unlocked now secure everything with deadbolts and alarms. Parents don't let kids walk home alone anymore. Neighbors who once chatted in driveways now keep their distance. A town that used to brag about being the safest place to live now carries permanent scars. Because they learned one brutal truth. Monsters don't always look like monsters. Sometimes they look like the nicest neighbor on your street. And that's the story of Daniel Hawkins, the perfect neighbor who hid a nightmare behind a friendly smile. Chapter 15. The Trial That Exposed the Truth. At his trial, Dennis didn't show a single tear or emotion. He just slowly and calmly explained everything he did, like he was reading instructions from a manual. The courtroom was silent. Some jurors said it felt like the temperature